now? Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Lehigh Valley. We are delighted you have joined us. Thank you. I hope you're ready. For today we are celebrating being in the flow. Being in the flow of the Spirit, the flow of our hearts, the flow of our minds, being present in the Spirit, and the abundance that lies therein. So we're going to ask you to join us as we sing our opening song, Water. Please stand if you are able and join us. Here we go. I have seen my share of struggle when I thought that I knew best, when I sailed through a storm, stood as stockman to rest. And it always seems the hardest when I made up my stubborn mind. Well, I'm changing my ways this time. I want to be like water coming down a mountain into shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. Want to be like water, head uphill no more. I am bound for the sea. Have you ever seen an eagle head straight into the wind? He doesn't pick a fight, spreads his wings and just gives in. And in the end he always makes it home just fine. I guess he knows that every storm subsides. I want to be like water coming down a mountain into shadowy canyons, flow from pool to stream. Want to be like water, head uphill no more. I am bound for the sea. I'll let nature take its course. No more thinking that I know where this river's meant to go. I have railed against the stars for the cards that I've been dealt, for the lottery I've never won, for the heartache I've felt. But it always seems when I let go of expectations and regret, life has plenty of surprises for me yet. I want to be like water coming down a mountain into shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. Want to be like water, head uphill no more. I am bound for the sea. I want to be like water coming down a mountain into shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. Want to be like water, head uphill no more. I am bound for the sea. You may be seated.
Thank you, and good morning, friends. Thank you for joining us today. Can I have that slide? As an opening or centering prayer this morning, I want to take a moment to acknowledge Earth Day, which was yesterday, which was first celebrated on April 22nd in 1970 as a day to honor the Earth and to participate in environmental teach-ins. The original goal was not just an environment of clean air and water and scenic beauty. The objective was an environment of decency, quality, and mutual respect for all human beings and all other living creatures. Since then, the environmental movement has grown in this country, and in 1990, Earth Day went global. And as the environmental movement has grown, so have environmental challenges as well. In our unity consciousness, every day is Earth Day, because the unity movement is guided by a vision of the sacredness, the interconnectedness, the interdependence of all life. It's through our awakened consciousness that we see everything as the presence of God. Unity Worldwide Ministries has adopted an Earth Care Covenant, which is on the screen. The Unity First Principle states that there is only one presence and one power pervading the entire universe. Unity Worldwide Ministries is committed to embodying this principle and honoring our oneness with the earth, recognizing that we live in a web of interconnectedness and our actions affect the whole, we endeavor to touch the earth lightly and with reverence, and we encourage our members to do the same. Once we enter into a caring relationship with the planet and give ourselves over to protecting it, we shift from a consciousness of fear and a mandate or code of conduct to be followed to being guided by love, which may prove to be a soul solution as well. So let's move into a moment of prayer for our planet. This is really a covenant, which I'm inviting us to try on this morning, to lean into as a community. And so let's take a deep community breath, drop into our hearts, and connect with the heart of all that is. Our consciousness reveals that all of creation is connected as one. The story of creation reveals that we are to be good caregivers of the creation. As a people of faith, we commit to a renewed reverence for life and respect for the interdependent web of all existence. We honor our spiritual commitment to the care, support, and defense of the balance between our individual needs and those of nature. We envision a world in which everything has intrinsic value and where all beings are assured a secure and meaningful life that is ecologically responsible and sustainable. We agree to transform our individual and congregational lives into acts of moral witness, discarding harmful habits for new behaviors that demonstrate our respect for this harmony and interconnectedness. We declare our covenant with God to walk upon the earth for the greatest good of all creation. And so it is. And so we allow it to be, God in, through, and as us in all of creation. Amen.
Good morning, Unity family. Good morning. Good morning. We're so happy you chose to start your day with us. My name is Peggy, and welcome to Unity of Lehigh Valley. It's my pleasure to be assisting Reverend Rod Karstetter, our senior minister, and Anthony Young, our music director. Every one of you is special to us, and we want you to feel that love. To our online friends, thank you for tuning in, and if you feel led to, share this message, and at the end of the service, let us know in the comments if there's anything we can do to help your experience with our community. And today, as I look around, I see many familiar faces of those who I've grown to love and cherish, and today I'm excited because I also see a few new faces of people who I've not had the opportunity to meet yet. And we welcome and affirm that will be a time of blessings for you. Now, welcome packets are available, and we ask that you fill out the visitor card and drop it in the silver offering bowl in the back of the sanctuary so we can get to know you better. Our lives are made up of many steps and many choices. But our journey is also shaped by the things we choose to believe and say out loud. Our affirmative statements express our Unity denominational statement of belief, as well as the vision and mission of Unity of Lehigh Valley. I invite those in the sanctuary and online to join me as we speak the statements aloud. And together we affirm, there is only one presence, one power, one activity in my life and in the universe, God the good omnipotence. We co-create an awakened world of peace, harmony, and abundance. United in love, we provide a positive environment for all people to discover and express their spiritual nature. So now for the month of April, spiritual growth is the core value we celebrate. Trusting the wisdom within each one, our paths unfold and lead us to accept a deeper understanding of the powerful love that we are. So thanks to everyone who donated the Lincoln Elementary School bingo night baskets. And we want to invite you to join us for our hospitality time immediately after the service in the lower level of the church. And please see Eva or Anka if you would like to volunteer on our hospitality team to help with setup and cleanup or to bring something special to share. And then today, Unity's own Reverend Joey Berry joins us for a book signing of her new book, The Gathering of One. The Gathering of One is a short, sweet book of reflections and exercises designed to strengthen and deepen your spiritual journey. Reverend Berry has developed both text and journaling exercises to guide the reader to more peaceful, happier, and joy-filled existence. Don't we all need that, right? The book signing will start at 11:30 here in the sanctuary. So now save the date, Saturday, May 6th. Once Upon a Tune. I almost said Once Upon a Time, but it's Once Upon a Tune. An evening with Charles Lee. Each of the moments in our lives had a tune to go with it. Once Upon a Tune is Charles Lee's journey that he is ready to share with us. When he was young, once upon a tune, he got married. Once upon a tune, he graduated. Through a variety of music, we remember our highs and lows through the magic time machine of music. So we invite you to take this musical trip with us. Let's remember Once Upon a Tune. Suggested love offering is $15. There's a link to donate before the night, and it will be in this week's email, the website, and on our special media platforms. As our community grows, we need volunteers also. We need more volunteers also growing. Please see the sign-up sheets in the back for opportunities to become more involved in ULV. Check our weekly emails for more service opportunities and details. Also, mark your calendars for the following dates in May. Saturday, May 20th, from 1 to 3, we are hosting Life 2023, a workshop with Mary Lee Etta. Mary Lee Etta is a spiritual coach in private practice with a background in behavioral health, healthcare management, and human services. In describing this workshop, she writes, "We are living a life that is the new normal. I hear people refer to returning to normal, and what I know is that what in the 3 years ago will never be again. For some, that is a real loss. In this workshop, I hope you will think the things in your own life that have changed: people, places, things, routines, schedules, rituals, etc., and how spirit is present and what tools and support systems you have in place as we redefine normal." There is a suggested $15 love offering. Pre-registration is helpful, but not required. And then also on Sunday, May 21st, mark your calendar for the healing service following our 10 a.m. service at 11:15. Do you need a prayer? ULV is here to pray with you. You can submit your prayer request by pushing the prayer request link on the upper right of our website, www.ulvoflehighvalley.org. You may also place your prayer requests in the prayer box at the back of the sanctuary, and we hold these requests in prayer and then send them to Silent Unity at Unity Village for another 30 days of prayer. Our prayer partners at Silent Unity are also available to pray with you 24/7 at 1-800-NOW-PRAY, or by emailing your prayer request to Silent Unity at unity.org/request-prayer. So please check our weekly email for information on Unity's new Be Unity app, which will be replacing the UPray app on May 8th. And now we move on to information to inspiration with our daily word, which will be read by Eva.
Good morning. The daily word for today, April 23rd, is pray for others. As I pray, I affirm the activity of God in my life and mine. I am honored by the trust of those who ask me to pray with them. Whatever I'm asked to pray about, my responsibility is always the same: to recognize all qualities of God are active, even in the most challenging circumstances. I remain steadfast, affirming this truth. If I have been asked to pray for healing, I release all thoughts of illness. I affirm divine life is active in every cell. I see harmony and perfect function restored. If I am praying for abundance, I entertain no thought of lack. I affirm divine wisdom, love, and understanding, guiding the one with whom I pray to make wise, prosperous choices. As I affirm truth for all who have asked for prayer, my awareness of God's activity in my life increases also. And from John 3, verse 1 and 2, Beloved, I pray that all may go well with you and that you may be in good health, just as it is well with your soul.
And now we're going to give you a chance to shine. So please rise as you're able and join us as we sing Radiant Light.
Well, that about sums it up. Thank you. So today is the third Sunday of Easter, and we continue our series based on Reverend Ernest Wilson's masterclass lessons, applying the power of thought to live in resurrection consciousness, to live into the next best and highest version of ourselves, or to be the best Christ that we can be. But before we dive into metaphysics, I'm something of a church history geek, and so a few more pieces of Ernest Wilson's story. Wilson was ordained a Unity minister by Charles Fillmore in 1916. He was known internationally within the Unity movement as a lecturer, author, and spiritual leader. He served as editor-in-chief of all Unity publications, while also serving as senior minister for the Unity Society from 1934 to 1938 after Charles Seymour retired. His pulpit ministry crossed the country, and in 1939 he founded Christ Church Unity in Los Angeles, which was several blocks from the Wiltern Theater on Wilshire Boulevard, where Dr. Ernest Holmes, the founder of the religious science movement, was also lecturing on Sunday mornings. He was a pioneer in religious television, and while in LA in the 1950s, was a regular guest on Betty White's TV talk show. Wilson is also known for convincing Charles Fillmore to integrate some ritual into Unity meetings. In particular, he created Unity's Christmas candle lighting and Easter flower services, which are still popular today. He developed these master class lessons in 1932, and they cover 6 themes: the Master's way of prayer, giving, receiving, healing, love and happiness, and of overcoming. Wilson recorded these lessons at Unity Village in 1974, and his recordings are available on truthunity.net for free if you'd like to listen to them. Last week we explored the Master's way of prayer, the Master being Jesus, the great example, not the great exception. And today we will explore the Master's way of giving, and next Sunday, the Master's way of receiving, or the law of circulation, the law of prosperity. Can I have the next slide, please? Wilson began and ended each class with an affirmation, and so I invite you to join me in claiming his affirmation on the screen. Together, I give as I would receive, richly, freely, joyously, in the Father's name and Spirit. Breathe into that for a moment. Metaphysically, we understand Father as source, divine mind, the great cause, the cause of all life, all being. There is only one source from which all living ideas and all living objects proceed. And source, or God, continually sustains and supplies each expression of itself with all that is necessary for its development, for our development. Our prosperity does not lie in the realm of the material, it lies in the realm of the priceless. But in a world where everything has a price, what happens to the priceless? Well, we can forget and get caught up in this material world of need and want and desire, none of which is bad except when our motivation is need and want and desire, instead of love and sacred connection and care for each other and the planet. Can I have the next slide, please? In the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 33, Jesus says, "Seek first the kingdom of God and God's righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you." In this passage from the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus is defining the most important of the universal spiritual principles that were the heart of his message. Seek first the kingdom means that our purpose as spiritual beings sharing this human experience is to create, choice by choice, the higher spiritual consciousness that Jesus described as the kingdom of heaven. Metaphysically, righteousness is a state of harmony established in consciousness through the right use of God-given attributes. Human challenges and distractions are of secondary importance. So long as our focus remains on achieving our spiritual purpose, our human needs will be met abundantly and joyfully. Too often we, and by we I mean me, feel that we must solve our human problems first in order to make time and space and means to deal with the spiritual. This causes us, again I mean me, to live from an energy of fear and anxiety. In fact, according to spiritual law, the opposite is always true. It's only by committing to the spiritual, to making choices out of love, that we can fully experience and enjoy our human experience. Wilson writes that prosperity is as simple as breathing. There is plenty of air for everyone. Our breathing would become labored if we doubted that and forced our breathing to take in more air, or held it in rather than trusting that there was more than enough and exhaled. Breathing includes inhaling and exhaling. Prosperity includes giving and receiving. In truth, we are in the presence of infinite supply. In consciousness or human perception, we seem to come into supply step by step, gradually. All about us is the air, more of it than our human mind can imagine or picture, but we have only as much of it as we can inhale and exhale. What we have of the infinite air is according to our capacity to use. We have what we can use. And more than we can use is as uncomfortable as if less is more than is comfortable, but there's less than is required. Likewise with God's substance, to spirit, supply is infinite and instantaneous. To consciousness, it is progressive. Wilson writes that we need to remember this in applying the law of prosperity to our human affairs, acting upon the assumption that because supply is instantaneous, is acting upon a half-truth that gets superficial students into trouble. Our access to or availability to spiritual supply is measured by our consciousness or capacity to align with truth, to allow God to be in, through, and as us, to live in and as the flow, to give and receive. We are individualized expressions of the one. We are inwardly abundant. External abundance is simply a reflection of who and what we are, the vibration of God in action. Abundance is a natural result of our actualizing our divinity. Unity co-founder Charles Filmer identified prosperity as the consciousness of God, as the abundant, everywhere present resource, unfailing, ready for all who open themselves to it through faith. Things come and go, but the idea of abundance endures. This is an evolutionary time, and we are in an evolutionary cycle, and this cycle will not allow status quo to remain. The potential for abundance that we all possess is not a promise. It is not about do this or do that and you will get blank. It's about learning to align and to be in vibrational coherence with abundance. It's about learning to align and to be in vibrational coherence with abundance. That's some of your homework, to think and pray on that some more. There is a story of a village that had been experiencing drought for 5 consecutive years. Many rainmakers had been called, but they had all failed to make rain. In the villagers' last attempt, they called upon a renowned rainmaker from afar. When he arrived in the village, he set up his tent and disappeared inside it for 4 days. On the 5th day, the rain started to fall and quenched the thirst of the parched earth. The people of the village asked the rainmaker how he had accomplished such a miracle, to which the rainmaker replied, "I have done nothing." Astounded at this explanation, the villagers said, "How can that be? After you came 4 days later, the rain started." The rainmaker explained, "When I arrived, the first thing I noticed was that everything in your village was out of harmony with heaven. So I spent 4 days putting my mind into harmony with the divine, and then the rains came." So let's talk about putting our minds into harmony with the divine. In the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus' words remind us to seek first the kingdom of God and God's righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. And where did he say that kingdom was? It's within. It's the realm in our consciousness, the realm of divine ideas, where we know and understand God. It's our Christ consciousness. So how important is it for us to seek first this kingdom, to be in harmony with heaven, to be grounded in a knowing of our divine nature, and then to live from that awareness of our oneness with the allness of God? It's when we are in harmony with heaven that the rains will quench the earth to renew our lives. In her book, Mastering Abundance, Reverend Tony Bem writes, "The collective agreement has been to forget, to be asleep, to be mesmerized into forgetting how abundant this life can be. As a group, the collective was lulled into a sense of playing small through scarcity." We might be the collective, or part of it. She writes, "The time to pierce the balloon of false perception and release what has been collectively agreed to is now here. It is time to be in remembrance of our abundance consciousness. It is time to be in remembrance of our abundance consciousness." The learning that comes as we navigate new realities is that we cannot take our third dimensional baggage with us. We must be willing to mature and release our will or ego limitation to move forward. It's about consciously choosing what you will align your mind with. Will you make the choice as to whether you claim to align with old, outdated ideas and perceptions, safe status quo brain wiring, or to take a risk and stretch, to develop new pathways, created through new and higher thoughts, ideas, feelings, and perceptions, all of which have the capacity to change your current reality. It's about allowing God to be, putting God first, letting light open the way. And in God there is always a way. And way opens as we live in and as the flow, as we give and receive. With all of this, the invitation is to live knowing that we are one with the one, and to make love the bottom line. In her book, The Law of Divine Compensation, Marianne Williamson wrote, "Putting love first means knowing that the universe supports you in creating the good, the holy, and the beautiful. It means knowing that you're on the earth for a purpose, and that the purpose itself will create opportunities for its accomplishment." Next slide, please. So we find ourselves at a fork in the road. One of many, I suspect, on this journey of spiritual unfoldment. And the chance once again to not only affirm truth, but to take it one step further and to decide for truth, to decide for Christ. In his book, Discover the Power Within You, Unity Minister Eric Butterworth wrote, "The decision for Christ is a decision to accept your own divinity and to realize your oneness. I am the substance of being made manifest." Yes? Let's affirm that together. I am the substance of being made manifest. Again, I am the substance of being made manifest. That's your mantra for this week, to lean into that, to see where that takes you. I imagine that it takes us to a higher level of consciousness, to resurrection consciousness, that Easter consciousness we've been talking about for the last few weeks. So let's close with a moment of prayer. May you always remember that there is only one power and one presence in your life, God the good, with all your heart and all your soul and all your mind. May you always remember God is creating you in God's image and likeness in each and every present moment. May you always remember that you are a magnificent point of power. May you always remember that all that God is expressing at the point of you. And may you always have the clarity and enthusiasm and determination to demonstrate these truths every day. And in the words of Unity co-founder Myrtle Fillmore, may you boldly affirm, I am stepping out to face blessing, to face prosperity, to face the glory of life. I am stepping out to face blessing, to face prosperity, to face the glory of life. Can I have the next slide, please? Wilson closed out each lesson with an affirmation, and he invites us to use this affirmation to bless one another. So I invite you to join me in reciting the affirmation on the screen, holding each other in this awareness. You are a radiant center of the Christ light, mighty to attract your good and to radiate good to others. Amen. With that, let's move into a time of meditation. And we will begin with the song, Heart of the World. Song of the world sings through me now. I am the heart of the world. I am the heart of the world. The heart of the world beats in me now. The light of the world shines through me. The song of the world sings through me now. I am the heart of the world. I am the heart of the world.
I am the heart of the world. I am the heart of the
Let us move into silence, friends, with a deep community breath. Allowing eyes to gently close and hearts to open wider. As we allow ourselves to come home to the heart of all that is. We are in a field of infinite life, love, and wisdom. We are in a field of light that knows no opposite. This light living itself through every aspect of our being that allows us to see beyond the illusion of all that seemingly divides to the truth of our oneness. And so for a time, close the door now to outer concerns and turn within to the serenity of your soul. We use the breath to consciously release any tension, allowing the body to become so very still. And knowing that a still mind follows a still body. And so breath by breath, the body temple relaxes. Creating a graceful state of allowing God to be. God to be within, through, and as us. We invite in the sustaining light of consciousness to shift our perceptions and perspectives right where we are. We hold the consciousness of welcoming in the light, allowing it to illuminate any thoughts of less than or not enough, either within ourselves or on behalf of humanity. May such thoughts dissolve in this moment of connection with divine I Am. In this space, we allow ourselves to feel a deep sense of peace. Beyond all outer distractions and challenges, there is peace. Beyond the worries of our hearts, there is peace. Beyond any anxiety, fear, or seeming chaos, there is peace. Nothing can disturb the calm peace of your soul as you breathe into that one presence and one power, active in the universe and in your life, God the good omnipotence. This is our true nature. We are whole and holy. We allow ourselves to experience this wholeness, this goodness that we already are, as we rest for a moment in the sacred silence. With a deep community breath, begin to bring your attention back to this relative time and space. By the power of this practice, we activate our ability to bless, to be a presence of peace. Through the power of this practice, may all beings have freedom from suffering and the causes of suffering. Through the power of this practice, may all beings know God as love and light, and themselves as emanations of that divine light. Friends, the light in me acknowledges and bows to the light, the Christ, the awakened one in you. Peace be with you, and namaste.
I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel his mighty power and his grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
We are grateful for the offerings and the gifts that you bring to Unity of Lehigh Valley. At our website, unityoflehighvalley.org, you can contribute by clicking on the Donate button on the top navigation bar. You can also send a check to Unity of Lehigh Valley or set up a weekly or monthly contribution directly from your bank. For those of you here in the sanctuary, please leave your offering and gifts in the silver bowl at the back of the sanctuary. If you have any questions about donating, please contact ULV by phone or email. So we bless the gifts by affirming together. The activity of Spirit through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Thank you all for joining us in person and online today and for helping to co-create this sacred space. For the gift of this day and for our community of spiritual nurture and compassion, for all of the gifts of time, talent, and treasure shared here this day, we give thanks. And in the name of all that is holy and true, may the connections between us inspire and sustain us. May the Christ light within us and among us be a sacred reminder that we are called to be that light in the world, to grow and to love as we continue this journey of inner transformation. May you be filled with the blessings of this community this day. May you carry them with you as you depart from here. May you discover places in the world where these blessings are needed, and may you have the courage to share them. And may there be an open place within you to receive the blessings of the people with whom you will meet along the way. And until we are together, friends, again, be strong, be well, be true, be love in expression. Amen.
Amen. Amen. And now as we sing our circling song, we're going to ask you to rise and come around the edges of the sanctuary, create a circle as we begin to sing our peace song. So it is. Namaste.
Thank you all for joining us.